And they're just a vocal animal, and when they flash their teeth as a form of bluff behaviour, they make loud noise to try and bluff their way through life.
See?
So Napoleon syndrome. Of course, a smaller statured man trying to make himself a look like larger. For a Tasmanian devil, that comes in the form of making a hell of a noise.
Yeah.
A female devil alone or a single devil alone has been...
Like that, yeah.
No one's going to bite us here today, so don't spread the myth. Don't spread the rumour, okay? As far as that jaw goes, flashing those teeth and making a hell of a noise, of course, drives away opposition.
You're the opposition, Reach.
No one's ever been attacked in the wild by a Tasmanian devil. Of course, in captivity, these animals see us every day, so they do become a little bit more confident around us. And in fact, she's the world's largest carnivorous marsupial. She eats nothing but other animals. She's a scavenging animal. Relying on carrion, relying on old-aged animals, weakened animals through ill health, disease, confrontation, roadkill. Anything she can overpower, she'll take. So we have seen devils eating washed-up whale, dolphin and seal on our beach lines, and also going through the sea kelp, finding tiny sea lice, anything in between. Taking tadpoles from a pond to the point where they're taking roadkill as a form of nutrition. So a devil alone has been recorded at 100 decibels. About the same as a jumbo jet taking off. Okay, so they're very, very strong vocal output. And they were called devil before ever being seen. So for a Tasmanian devil to be given this name, it's probably the most unfortunate name it could be given. Because they're not devilish in behaviour. Although of course the early settlers took a long time to see the first devil after settlement. They were heard from day one. So when we're talking about day one, we're talking about early explorers in the 1600s, in fact, making note of the noises coming from Tasmanian shores. Settled in 1803, and it wasn't until 1807 that the first devil was actually sighted. And by campfire light. So when you put a bit of sunlight behind a devil's ears, have a look at them.
Yeah, they're red.
Glowing red.
Yeah.
By campfire light, glowing red. Flashing white teeth, black in colour. Given that name devil to reference the noises coming from the bush. And unfortunately the name devil, or the Tasmanian devil, is now officially known as Sarcophagus harrisii, meaning Harris's flesh lover. First described by our Lieutenant George Harris, who was our General Surveyor at the time.
Hi.
Average life 5 years. She's the world's largest carnivorous marsupial, so there's your pouch of your devil. Backward facing, the same as you'd find with your wombat, which returns back up into that chest area. She has 4 teats in that pouch, and she can raise 4 young at the time of breeding.
She only lives 5 years.
Wow.
Very short life. In fact, our spotted tail quails here, their closest relations, only a 4-life existence. So the carnivorous marsupials tend to have a short but productive life as far as replicating themselves through that reproduction. She multi-sires, meaning she shows a lot of infidelity at the time of breeding. She will mate, she will store that male sperm in a little pocket off the side of her urethra, and then she'll eject that male from the breeding den and go and gather another one. And she'll do that over several days. And when a female devil mates constantly for 9 days straight, she makes sure that she mates with as many males in that period as she can. When it comes time to see a pouch of a wild devil, and she's got 4 babies inside the pouch, we find 3 of them from different sires. So we get diversity in the pouch.
Wow.
She's also known to be superfetal, meaning she produces on average 18 to 30 babies. With only a 21-day gestation, we're talking babies birthed about the size of a match head, half the size of a grain of rice. Now, being birthed in competition means you have to be one of the first 4 in that pouch to survive. Okay? We've actually seen 55 animals being birthed in a single sequence with 51 excess devils. Nowhere to nurture, no teat to suckle on. Because once you attach to a teat, you crawl into that pouch system, you attach to a teat, the teat swells in your mouth to a point where it's activated and it starts producing milk. So for the first 100 days you're semi-fused. It cuts down on competition. Once you've reached the teat, you cannot be dislodged. The sparrows, can't go anywhere about them.
Yeah, I just read that they were having some sort of like cancer with the devils that they were...
Well, it's been apparent in our environment now since 1996, the Tasmanian devil facial tumour disease. The model for extinction was predicted in 15 years. It's a cancer that is inoculation comes through contact. So transferring of tissue from one animal to the nuff is enough to give you cancer, which is quite unique. Our cancers, of course, on that individual cell mutation basis, on an individual specimen basis. With the devil, those big feed sites where devils come and they eat very, very close together with their muzzles and they're chewing on each other's lips, and their confrontation around those feed sites, that tumour tissue can transfer very, very readily.
And then I read not long ago that they were using their milk for some sort of pharmaceuticals. They were.
Listen, there's an inkling that because of a female devil known to have disease, has never passed disease on to her young. There's an inkling to suggest that the mother's milk could be the immunity that's needed for those devils not to transfer disease onto their young. But we got many a phone call saying, how are we going to go about start milking our devils? Well, we're not going to send it up a dairy, let me put it that way. We're going to breed our devils in captivity and let them go through that natural process. What we do find in the wild now, that devils are starting to show resistance to disease in the wild, to a point where we know a female has had disease in the wild, and 4 months later again trapped and she's tumour free. So we have resistance being built. We had an immune response in 2014. 2016 we saw that first immunity, or that first resistance I should say. So there's one devil out there showing resistance, there's going to be more. So devils will never become extinct through this disease.
Oh, good.
We can guarantee that. We've always maintained that line here. Although as far as biologists go, and those oncologists looking as research grants, as we say, the squeaky wheel gets the oil.
Yeah.
The more bad news they can present, the more money they are attracted for their funding. So in some instances we have almost personal gain for some of those oncologists looking for disease, looking to cure cancer, of course. That's the bottom line. We're not expecting it to be headlines in the newspaper tomorrow. We have been battling personal cancers on the human level for many, many years without great results as far as a vaccine or a cure, so to speak. Have a little pat of a devil down the back here. Now we don't want to go too close to those teeth. So the nice big white marks our target area today. You're right, go for it. If anyone's going to get bit to that's going to be me. I'm the one holding her. So just relax and take a breath and have yourself a nice pat.
Huh? No, I don't want to.
You know?
You don't want to touch a devil?
You don't get many opportunities, mate, I tell you. You've just missed out.
Get your feathers down the bottom.
There you go. We'll put her back in. We'll go and feed a group, eh? Now when we feed devils, we feed out native wildlife to them. We feed out the 3 top choices in the wild. We replicate as much of their feeding habits as we know from wild feed sites, wild behaviour. So I'm going to feed this group of 8